So you guys may have seen that there's been some YouTubers on the platform that have recently made videos talking about their problems, the game, and what they don't like in Fortnite. And I thought, now would be a good time to make a video about what I personally think is the biggest problem with Fortnite, which is perfect timing because Chapter 6 is on the horizon and we're going to be getting a brand new map very soon. I think it would be very good timing to talk about what I think is the biggest problem with Fortnite, with that being so I think the biggest problem with Fortnite is the maps. Talking about maps, maps are very subjective, and so when I say what may be my favorite map and what may be yours, it's probably gonna be different. We're gonna be splitting up into two parts: gameplay side of things and the storyline side of things. Let's start with the gameplay, beginning with the Chapter 1 map. Now look, I think most people will agree the Chapter 1 map is the best. There's so many memorable locations, and when Chapter 1 OG came out, I was just like, man, there's so many great spots to pick to land. It's hard to choose. Landing at these POIs and there being so much variety within what you're seeing. And obviously Tilted Towers was a big favorite amongst many, but there's so much just atmosphere within the Chapter 1 map. The Chapter 1 map had so many POI changes and different things, and throughout the years they would get like a snow biome and the desert biome and a jungle biome with a volcano. There was so many things happening on this map. We had air tunnels that would take us to locations, and it's really just a great map in general. But honestly, after Chapter 1 map, I would say Chapter 2 and 3 had pretty good maps, and I enjoyed for the most part what they did with those maps. But then I would start to personally have problems beginning with Chapter 4. I think that this map in the beginning was really just okay. I think that the biggest part of it being cool was the fact that it was floating in the galaxy and the universe. That was the coolest aspect of it, and that was what I enjoyed about it. But other than that, I didn't like the POIs personally. I thought that the POIs were really very samey. Wasn't a fan of these POIs. Season 2 would come in with Mega City. Mega City definitely was the best POI that Fortnite added that entire chapter. Really well done POI, and really well done biome. I love the entire atmosphere. For Season 3, the jungle was pretty meh to me. I wasn't really a big fan of the jungle, honestly. And for Season 4, it was kind of like this resort islands with this. Honestly, I didn't like this one either. I thought it was okay for the most part. But all in all, I was kind of excited and ready to get off the Chapter 4 map. And that's when we went into Season OG, which was refreshing and nice. But now let's start talking about the Chapter 5 map. I think Chapter 5 suffers from them going full realism in terms of map design. A lot of the POIs are just ultra realistic. There's no charm to them, and it's very disappointing and depressing. We didn't have really that cartoony fun aesthetic of the POIs. They were very much, as people said, realistic, and it definitely hurt the game from an aesthetic point of view and also from the gameplay side of it. It felt very bland to play on this map, and I was really excited to get away from this map. Even with the Greek mythology changes and with the Sandstorm and Season 3 and Dr. Doom, it didn't feel Fortnite like many people would say. So that's the biggest negative I would say for the gameplay side of it. It just felt very bland. But now let's move on to the storyline side of things. First of all, this all started in Season 3 when out of nowhere there was just a comet in the sky and people questioned what that was, and when they aimed at it, it made a noise. And unknown to the players, Epic was keeping a close look at player chatter and communication, and a lot of people thought that this comet was going to hit Tilted Towers. And so because of that, Epic decided to put signs at Tilted Towers saying that the end may be near for Tilted and it was going to hit Tilted, when in fact Epic knew that people thought it was going to hit Tilted, and they decided to subvert expectations and have the meteor hit Dusty Depot, leading into Season 4 and turned it into Dusty Divot. It's moments like this that would continue on throughout Fortnite Chapter 1. I can bring up so many examples of what Epic used to do back in the day. like the spawning of Kevin the Cube and the noises that the cube would make. It felt so ominous, and so many questions would ring out about what this cube was, and there was no advertising or marketing or hype for this cube spawning. It just spawned during the day, and then it started moving. People would have live streams for hours and hours watching the cube move from place to place, wondering where it was gonna hit, and it finally going into Tilted and destroying a building. And then going out of it, people thought that Tilted was going to get decimated, but it destroyed one building. And there were also these little map events that would happen around the map weekly, like the story of the Rock family, where a rock statue would start moving on the map and wandered around for a week. And weekly, people would log on to see where the rock man had moved to. And then he found a rock woman. He had a child with the rock woman. And then the child wandered into the forest to find a flower for his mom that was on a high cliff. And he climbed up this high cliff to get the flower for his mom and fell off. Out of nowhere, a rock dog appeared and climbed the cliff to save the rock child. And another great example of a really well done map change was back after the volcano erupted. One of the rocks hit the iceberg at Polar Peak. It revealed an eye in the ice that was the monster. And logging in and seeing that the monster had broke out and was in the water around the map swimming with still Polar Peak on his back, I'm telling you this right now, this was peak storytelling. And it's such a shame that Epic doesn't do this no more. Does anyone remember any of those storylines happening for Chapter 5? I didn't. And the YouTubers that would cover it, like PlayStation Grenade and Postbox Pat, which, by the way, big shout out to those channels. Without them, I wouldn't have any footage of any of these events that took place around the map. They covered all these events. So again, huge shout out to them. But they rarely cover Fortnite map changes anymore. And the reason for that is that there's just not enough map changes anymore. And these types of storylines that we used to have on the map, they're non-existent. And Epic has fully abandoned them. And it's truly sad. I think that Donald Mustard was a huge person that pushed for a lot of these things to happen in Fortnite, these events, and he truly understood what Fortnite was and how important the map was to the players. And you can see in the interviews he made and in the words he talks about Fortnite and the map being a character in and of itself, and that passion that was in the game. Donald Mustard sadly no longer with the company, and so it feels like the vision and the idea around the Fortnite map and everything about it that just seems very much not there. I and many others felt like the same way. The map is so important, it just doesn't feel like the map is important anymore. And this leads into another point I wanted to bring up, and I kind of talked about in the previous video. I think the reason why Fortnite maps will never be the same to us is that from our perspective, it's hard to connect with the map for only a year. I think the reason why some of these maps are so memorable, like the Chapter 2 map and the Chapter 1 map, to me, is because we spent multiple years on those maps, and all these events happen on the map, and I can tell you what events and what POIs change and things of that nature. With only having a map for 1 year, it's hard for me to connect to that map, and more importantly, I feel like it's hard for Epic to make great maps, come up with cool ideas if that map is only going to stay in for the game for a year. But honestly, I hope all of this can change with Chapter 6, and hopefully won't go for a realistic angle. It was leaked that we're going to have a Japanese mythology and samurai theme, which may definitely be leaning towards the more realism aspect of Fortnite, but we'll just have to wait and see. But more importantly, I hope Epic will try to make some return to environmental storytelling, as I really do enjoy that aspect of Fortnite and really miss it in the game. But sadly, it might be something that is long gone, and it may be because Donald Mustard is no longer with Epic. But hopefully that will change again. Though, what you think about all the things I said in this video, Do you agree that the newer maps just don't have the charm and aesthetic as the older maps do? Or do you think the newer maps are got a bad reputation and deserve more credit where it's due? I don't know. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below and let me know what you thought of this video. Also, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm definitely going to have some more Fortnite videos, and I have some thoughts about Fortnite Chapter 2 remix that will be coming out. And there's also Chapter 6 on the horizon. And leave a like if you enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good day. See ya.